Hello, my name is Denise Yezbak Moore, and today we are going to be creating rings. These rings, the bottom part of the ring looks like this. This is the top. These are faceted 4mm beads. I created 4 different colors. I'm going to be using this burgundy color for our demonstration today, and here we go. The tools and supplies you will need to create these rings are a chasing hammer, a small bench block, a ring mandrel, chain nose pliers, wire cutters, 4mm beads. These are just faceted little stones, burgundy. We will need a 2.5 inch length of 18 gauge wire, and we will also be using 28 gauge wire. I'm using craft wire today. You can use the wire of your choice. We are going to start off by cutting a 2.5 inch length of 18 gauge wire. I'm just placing that wire on my bench block. We're going to start to hammer. I hope this isn't too loud. We're going to start off at the ends. And I'm just kind of flattening that end out. Now we're going to flip it around. We're going to do the other side. Let's pick it up. They look pretty equal. So I'm going to place it back down. And now we're going to hammer all along the length. So we're going to flip it over. Let's move it to the other side. And it just kind of flattened it out a little bit, and it made it hard. Hammering your wire hardens the wire. Let's grab our ring mandrel. I'm finding size 7, placing it right in the center, and I am just going to wrap the wire around. Coming back over, I'm going to pick up my chasing hammer. We're just going to hammer down those ends. Remove it, squish it a little bit, and our ring is starting to form. I just cut a 6.5 inch length of 28 gauge wire. I'm going to leave a little tail. I'm going to come over and I'm going to wrap 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm just kind of squishing those wires together. I'm going to leave the little tail, and we're going to move it up. And we're going to bring this wire through and right in the middle. And then we're going to come up, back around, up through the middle, pass it underneath, and in the middle, down, through the middle, back through the ring, through the middle, down. Let's stop a minute. And we're going to squish our wires together. squish, squish. And then we're going to come back through, up the middle, around the ring, through the middle, back through to the middle, and around. And now we're going to coil around. 1, 2, 3, and let's squish our wires together. Come to the other side, and we're going to squish those wires together. Sometimes you can use your fingernails, and now we're going to trim off these little ends. So I'm just going to come in, gently trim off that end, come around to this side, bring it up, trim off that little end, and now we need to gently tap those wires down so there are no sharp edges sticking up. I just cut an 8.5 inch length of 28 gauge wire, kind of eyeballing it, so I'm going to start it right about there. I'm leaving a little tail that we will trim off later, and we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, now I'm going to squish these wires together. So this is our starting point. Now we're going to string our 4mm faceted bead down, and we're going to bring that down, pass it through, bring that wire up, and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. We're squishing our wires together. Grabbing our next 4mm bead, bringing that bead down. And we are just going to coil our wire around 3 times. Squish those wires together, come over to the other side, squish those wires together, grab our next bead. We're going to bring it down, making sure it's nice and tight. 1, 2, 3. Squish those wires together, these wires together, and then I'm just going to squish them up a little bit. And you can see our ring is starting to form. So let's grab our next 4mm bead, string that bead down, we're going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Squish those wires together. Squish those wires together. We're going to grab our last 4 millimeter. Bring it down. And we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go 5 so that it matches the other side. We're going to squish and squish, and then I like to squish them together. Now using our wire cutters, we're going to trim off that little end. I like to have it right on the side going up. Trim off that little end, and then we're going to come back in and gently tap those wires down so there are no sharp edges. And then what I like to do is come back in and I'm tapping these end wires on the back side down. Tap that one down. And there is our ring. And there you have it, how to create my wire wrapped rings. I have large fingers, but I created these rings for my daughter, who is a 7.5. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe and maybe go and check out a couple of my other videos. Leave comments and questions. I enjoy chatting with beaders worldwide. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.